your mechanics to be recognized by the auto manufacturer as certified to work on warranted equipment. What a big plus. So that's the biggest challenge we have hiring a mechanic, is we got to get him certified before he can work on a warranted piece of equipment. So we talked to Ford about it. Ford said, we'll go one further. We'll let you send them to our school. So we got 20 mechanics that are getting ready to go to Ford to learn hybrid technology. Because Ford said that's what's the future. So we're going to train them on hybrid technology, and maybe someday you military guys will catch up. But I'm telling you, it's a great program. We're going places with this thing, and it's going to be a way of us building a sustainable reserve for farmers, where you can feel good, where you don't have to say, geez, do I tell this employer I'm in the reserve? You're going to tell them, because that's the way you're going to get the job. So they're going to say, that's why we're hiring. So, good news story there. How's the reserve doing? Doing pretty good. 3 years ago, or 3+ years ago, when I came in this job, we were 20,000 under strength. We're about 185, 186,000, authorized 205. Well, how did that happen? Well, for those of us who've been around a long time, we know why it happened. In 2003, when we started mobilizing the reserve, we had to tell the truth. You know, we called up the unit and we said, okay, your unit's getting mobilized. Well, I hope Roach doesn't go with us, because he's a little fruitcake. You know, and Hutchinson, Hutchinson ain't going, he's not going to go. Dalton? Who the hell's Dalton? We've never seen him. He's on a roll. And so what do we do? We had to fess up and say, well, a lot of these people either are non-deployable or we don't know where they are. So, easy fix, we'll just cross level over here, and we'll take this unit and fill up that unit. It's going to be a short war. We went 90-91, it lasted 96 hours. Short war. So, we're okay, and we met this call in 2003. A lot of cross leveling, a lot of shuffling going on. Then in 2004, they said, okay, next rotation. And we said, what? Another rotation? Okay, well, send this. We stripped that unit. So we started cutting. Okay. We had a lot of people we had to clean up off the roll. We had a lot of people we needed to get out of the formation. And so we went down to about 185. Today, 208,000. 23,000 more soldiers, increase in instruments in that period of time. But more importantly, what's represented in this room? It's the right 208,000. Now, do we have a little bit more cleaning up to do? Yes, we do. We still have some ghosts out there that we're trying to get rid of, trying to find. We still have some people that we would probably say we don't want to take them, so let's get them off the roll. Got it. But we've got a quality force now. We're doing much less cross level than we have in the past. Now, I will tell you this, we're still doing cross level. Can't get out of it. We got 208,000, but I got 180% of what I need in skill level 1. I got a lot of E1 to E4s right now. I'm still short E6 and E7s, captains and majors. So I'm still having to cross level. And I'm still getting rid of officers. Any lawyers in the room? Okay. All right. Well, you didn't hear me say this. Because lawyers say I can't say this, all right? But I'm kicking out a lot of officers, captains and majors and lieutenants specifically, that are non-performers. They quit. They basically stopped coming to drill. They quit showing up. They basically said, I'm not going to participate. And I've said, I don't want you. I don't want that quality of an individual, or lack of, leading my soldiers. My soldiers are too precious. But I'll be damned if you're going to leave with a clean bill of health. So I'm kicking them out with other than honorable discharge. They're leaving the service without a clean bill of health. I've said, there's too many people that have made too many sacrifices and given too much for somebody to have their education paid for in some instances, or to draw a paycheck for several years or whatever, and then to say, I don't want to play. You know, and so we're pushing them out. That causes some shortages in that grade. Yeah, we're short captains, majors right now, but I don't feel bad about it. We'll make it up, and we'll make it up with the right quality soldier, not one that's going to quit. You know, we can't afford to have quitters. So I feel good about the health of the force right now. You know, because of what's sitting here in front of me. You know, that's what I gauge it by. You know, by you, your performance. We're getting better at predictability. You know, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when Sergeant Major and I would travel around, you would tell us probably two key things that we took to heart. We need predictability, and don't waste my time. And so we're getting to where now we're getting about 12 months out on being able to at least notify, alert, some order, in some cases have an actual order, not all, but at least to tell you you're going. You know, so you've got time to prepare. We're getting much better at not wasting your time. 3 years ago, you were spending 90 to 120 days in a mob station, doing stuff that you'd already trained on, training on stuff that wasn't relevant. Today, the average mob station is about 30 days. About 30 days for the reserve. I'm not talking the Guard now, for the reserve. With the CSS units that we've got, we're able, with our RTCs and others that you guys have experienced, we're able to knock out a lot of that training before we get to the mob station. But more importantly, 1st Army Forces Command recognized that, one, the training you're going through is quality training, so there's no question from there about you got to revalidate or anything. No, doesn't. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. There's exceptions. But when we find out about it, we correct it. But 1st Army Force Com says, hey, the training that the Army Reserve is doing is first class. So we don't need to retrain those tasks. And some of the training that we had scheduled is not relevant. You know, I brought it to their attention about a year ago. I said, yeah, I had a dental unit that I went to visit in Iraq. Good group of soldiers. And they said, you know, we should have been here over 30 days sooner to really start doing dental care. But instead, we were at Fort McCoy doing clearing a building. And they said, sir, you really don't want us clearing a building. And I went back to G3 of the Army and said, this makes absolutely no sense. Why are we doing this? And he said, I don't know. And so we started trying to track it down. We couldn't find anybody that would tell us why. Just somewhere, someone said, this is required training. So we're changing a lot of that. We're saying, no, you tell me what's required for this type of unit. And that's what we're going to train on. You know, now, we got to take into account, could there be a chance that these guys go outside the wire for something? Okay, then we need to add this level of training for that reason, convoy, live fire, whatever. The dental unit working inside an FOB probably don't need to train on entry control point, probably don't need to control, convoy live fire, probably don't, here's what we need to train on. So we're getting better. General Miller, 1st Army Commander, was at a recent Chief of Staff of the Army's General Officer Conference, and he paid you great compliments. I told everybody, it's a great day to be in the Army Reserve. When you got a 3-star active guy telling Chief of Staff of the Army and the other 4 stars, hey, let me tell you, the Army Reserve's got their act together. They've got it. They're producing quality trained units. In fact, he said, I just had 5 units come through that only spent 2 weeks in the mob station, and that was probably 1 week too much. They were ready when they showed up. And so, my hat's off to you. We're getting better. We're getting better at the not wasting your time and being trained and ready. So a lot of good things happen. Still some work to do. We still got some work to do in terms of changing some of the policies that are out there. We need to get on equal footing in terms of promotion timelines with our active counterparts. We need to get more assignment opportunities out there for people. We need to reform the AGR system. We need to reform the Miltech system. How many of you in here are Miltechs? Okay. That system doesn't work, you know, in an operational army. You know, I get accused of not loving Miltechs. I love some of them. No, here's the problem. We're not letting you maximize your potential. That's the problem. You're good, both in uniform and in civilian. But I'm telling you, well, I can't promote you on the military side because your civilian job has to match up. Or I can't promote you on the civilian side, use you where you've got more opportunity because your military has to match up. We need to decouple that. And so that you can say, hey, I can be a Miltech and I can rise to my highest potential over here, and I can be in the military and rise to my highest potential over here, but I won't need to have them connected because we're kidding ourselves. You're the unit administrator and you get promoted to E6 or E7 and we say, okay, you're the motor sergeant. No, you're not. You're the unit administrator. You know, except when we mobilize. And then we say, now you are the motor sergeant. But you haven't been doing it for any time. So those are kind of things we've got to reform so that we can allow people to reach their maximum potential in civilian and military status. You know, a lot of good things. Now, we're going to do some questions and answers. And I really want you to open up and tell me what rumors you've heard and what rumors you want to start. But before I do that, I never get up and talk by myself. I always have to allow your senior enlisted representative, your command sergeant major, get up and say a few words to you. And what I always tell each group is, you know, when I had the opportunity to pick a command sergeant major, and I was trying to figure out what do you look for, and I sought the counsel of Sergeant Major Preston, Sergeant Major of the Army, sought the counsel of Sergeant Major Sparks, at that time TRADOC, former Seafleet Sergeant Major. They said, you'll know it when you see it. And so when I went through that process of talking to the candidates, each one of them telling me about why they should be the Army Reserves Command Sergeant Majors, what qualities they had, what made them the right person for the job. And when I interviewed Sergeant Major Cathy, he didn't say a thing about himself. He said, whoever you pick, sir, is your choice. But let me tell you what you need to fix. And he started talking about soldier issues, training, equipping, compensation, all these things. He said, that's what you've got to fix. You know, so, you know, I knew it when I saw it. I said, this is the guy. Because he's not about himself. He's all about you. All about taking care of soldiers. Not about taking care of himself. So I always invite him to come up and say a few words to you. I'll give him a chance to talk, and then we'll take some questions from him. Okay?
Thank you, sir. How you doing? Doing all right? You've been sitting there for about an hour and a half. Some you sit on your food about 30 minutes. I want you to stand up first. Hands on your hips, lean back, put your head like that, look at the ceiling and so, it's great to feel so. All right, now lean forward. Move your shoulders around a little bit. Hey, don't that feel good to you? You not participate, sir? Like that. That's all right, you get to be a girl, you know. All right, do this for me. Don't you feel better? Go ahead and say that. I say that it's an honor to be with you. Most of all, it's an honor that we are. You okay on these? Well, I got you a little slow on the intake there. Okay? It's an honor to be with you today.